Okay, there we go. Hello, everybody. I am back up in my very messy craft room. Hopefully that gives you a good quiet sound. And I'm going to push this back down to the table view, so you won't see me much anymore. You're just going to see my hands. But as Michelle said, we're going to make this adorable snowman wreath. So I think he's really cute. So I'm going to show you all the things that should be, for those of you that have picked up a kit, I'm going to show you all the things that should be in your kit. And for those of you that either want to make more or haven't gotten one yet, I'll let you know what you need to get for that. So I'm going to put myself down here, back down to just my hand view. And a big thank you to Michelle for continuing my classes. We're really having a lot of fun with these, so I really appreciate it. So in your kit, and what you'll need are 2 of the little wreath rings. I'm using the really tiny ones that they sell, and at the Dollar Tree, they come 2 in a package, so you get a lot of bang for your buck, so that's great. So we're going to need 2 of these. In the kit, you had a little bag, and I should say, for those of you that haven't plugged your glue gun in yet, plug in your glue gun. And we're also going to need a pair of scissors, preferably fabric scissors or the sharpest scissors that you have. So get a pair of scissors as well. I like Google eyes. I always use them when you have a chance, put them on everything. So there's a big set of Google eyes. I actually did find these at Walmart. They did not have the big Google eyes at the Dollar Tree. So I did get a package of those at Walmart. I have orange tubing. This is that mesh tubing. It comes in a package. From this moment on, like almost every supply that I say will be at almost any craft store. This particular is the orange mesh tubing. We're going to be using this for his nose, carrot nose. I have a little piece of black mesh tubing that's going to be for the mouth. And these are actually for the buttons. You can use buttons, but I ended up getting a checker kit. So it had red and black checkers. So I thought, oh, these would be cute because there's a lot of them. So I'm actually using these checker pieces as the buttons. But again, you could use absolutely anything for that. Buttons for the eyes, buttons for the thing. Also, we have zip ties. Zip ties are absolutely fantastic when it comes to crafting. And I've really started to use these a lot. You can really put things together quickly, easily, and they don't come apart, which is nice. Whereas sometimes if you use twist ties, they can undo themselves over time. These little zip ties will not. I got the shorter pair because, why waste a pair that's, this long? So I did get 2 of the shorter ones, and that's just to tie it together. If you do not have zip ties, when you want to make these again, you can use twist ties from like your bread packages. Like if you have any, things from bread, any kind of twist ties like that, you can tie it together with string. So any way you want to get it together, you do not want to hot glue it together. That's not going to stay because it's going to be a little heavy. So you really either want to tie it with yarn, the zip tie, or a twist tie. So you really want to make sure those get tied together. And then I saw these dust cloths, and who wants to dust? Nobody wants to dust. So I go to the Dollar Tree and I don't see what they're supposed to be. I see what's fun. And these were microfiber dust pads. And I'm like, oh, these are going to be perfect. This looks like a snowman to me. So we're going to use those. They also had some really great hats and scarves. I felt a little guilty for, buying a bunch of these for crafts, thinking, oh, I hope I'm not taking them off of a kid's head that really needed it, but you know, really fun, really cute. So if you have old hats laying around at home, this would be a great thing to use. Each of you has half of a scarf. I took this scarf and I cut it in half. So you didn't have to, and we shared it. So you really only need half of it. So if you get a scarf, use only half. So then you can get at least 2 out of there. If you're just using fabric, make your scarf as wide or as long as you want. You can use ribbon. You can do anything that you would like for the scarf, but that's what we have. You all have.
Kimberly, yep. It's Ruth Ann. I didn't get a scarf. I didn't get a scarf in my package.
A scarf piece came out?
I did not. I have the hat, but I don't have a scarf.
Well, because I double checked everything and everything had everything in it. What color hat do you have?
Black.
Okay, what I can do is I believe I have some extra pieces at home. So what I can do is I can drop off a piece of scarf fabric with your name on it at the library.
Okay, but they're nice enough to send mine down to Steele for me to pick it up. So don't bother. I'll just look for a scarf someplace.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I went to the Dollar Tree and they had all different kinds of, you know, just these long scarves. Some had the fringe, some doesn't, some were just plain. So any kind of fabric would work for that. Or if you have an old scarf at home, or if you knit or crochet, you can make a scarf. But if you do need something, let me know. So I'm actually going to show, I always like to do an alternate way. I'm going to show you another way that we can make this towards the end a little different. I'll show you how to use yours. So with your dust mops, you want to take this off. It's connected. And I always try to do a project as cheaply as we can. Because, you know, the more inexpensive it is, the more we can make and the more we can do. So for this particular project, you only needed 3. We're going to cover the bottom wreath with 2 of them. And then we're going to cover the top wreath only part of the way, because I'm going to cheat. And with your hat, you're going to be able to put the hat on like that. So why fill that when you don't need to? You've got the hat. Now, if you wanted to make it removable, or if you wanted to change your hats throughout the season, then I would suggest then you'll use 4, and then you'll cover the top and cover the bottom. But for what your kit has, I did not plan on putting one on the top. I just put it on the bottom. And there is a hat with a tag. Do not take the tag off your hat if you haven't already done so, I hope, because it has a great little hook on the back. And I'm planning on using that hook to hang it on my door. If for some reason you went through and you're trying to get ready and you pulled the tag off and pulled the hook off, you could either tie a piece of string around the hat, or if you have one of those bars that are like this and then has a hook on it, it should fit inside of it. But I was trying to do a twofer and saying, keep your hook on, just take your tag and rip your tag off. You won't see the little connection. And then you'll be able to, because the pom-pom will fall down a little bit. So then you'd be able to hook it. So not a problem if you took it off. Either tie a string around it, attach a hook to the back, or if you have the kind that holds a wreath, it should fit in like that. So before we start gluing, let's take our zip ties. We're going to connect this. It doesn't matter. We're covering this entire wreath. So it doesn't matter where the 3 little lines are. Doesn't matter at all. We're just going to set it on the table. I'm going to just line it up. Set it on the table. We're going to take our hooks, put it under maybe 2 of them and 2 of them. You can go 2 and 2. Or you can go just the bottom to the bottom. As you can see, I've got just the bottom to the bottom. Doesn't really matter because we're going to be covering it with the fabric. You just don't want these to overlap too much. You don't want to lose your space. So however you get it on, just get it where they will be touching. And with zip ties, there is a flat line and then kind of a box. So you want to keep the box area up because that's where you're going to end up putting, is that where you put your zip? I haven't used zip ties. Nope, you're going to put your zip tie on your top. So you can see your zip tie will go right through that hole. So attach, we're going to go 1 on one side, 1 on the other, just to do 2, just to have some stability. As you can see, I am connecting the 2. I'm just going to do the bottom 2 circles. So I've got it connected right there, bottom 2. I'm going to put it through the hole, push it through, and pull it down. Like I said, I really don't want a lot of overlap of these. You don't want to lose space. And then you're going to be able to just cut it. And you can leave a little bit of a tail so you don't have a chance of it going through, because again, we're covering this. And then you're just going to go over to the other side, do the same thing. I just thought you could probably get away with just 1, but I thought doing 2 would definitely really secure it. And again, I don't care how much I have left over because we're not going to see that part. So now I have my ring connected and it's on there good. So again, you definitely want to connect them before we start gluing because it's really hard to get underneath it. So they always say you can't put a square peg in a round hole. Well, we're going to finagle it because we're crafters, and yes, we can. So we're going to take the 2 pads. What might be easier for you to do is to lay them down so you see where you're going. We're going to choose which one is going to be the bottom and just lay it right on top of that. We don't have to worry so much about this narrow area right here because we're also going to be putting our scarf there. This is going to fold over and the other one we put on the top will fold over. So you don't really have to have that much hanging over. So let's start with the top one. I've got it just a little bit over, as you can see, a little over the top. You're going to take your glue gun and just liberally throw some glue all around over there. So I'm just getting this kind of filled with glue. I'm going up to the corner of my paper. And I am going to gently fold it over. I usually tell people if you don't have, I have a silicone mat that I absolutely love using, and that's what my glue gun sits on, and it catches all the drips. And you can even peel them off and use them for collages and things later. The silicone mat is great, protects your table. If you don't have a silicone mat, I would highly suggest even taking just a piece of tinfoil and have your gun over the tinfoil. You just want to protect your surface. I'm going to do the same thing over here now. Make sure you're on the white part of the pad. Folding that over. And because we want it to be round, you can see mine almost looks like a triangle. So I'm just going to flip some glue in there and then push it up and get it to be my round shape that I want. Another great thing to do if you are gluing things down, you don't want to hurt your fingers. You can use a pencil, a chopstick. Also, what's great, which they do have at the Dollar Tree, little silicone fingers. So you can touch all this hot glue without burning yourself, because almost every crafter has third-degree burns at least once or twice per project. Again, I'm going to do the same thing to the other side, just pushing it in so I know it's round. Now, that's what that will look like, just the half. And you can see I was able to get my round shape. These fold a bit so you can see there's the white line and then you have all this fur hanging up. You want to make sure you kind of bend all that down when we're doing the next one. Bend all that fur down because you want to be right up against the pad. So do the same thing with the other fur. I'm just folding it down and folding it down, and I'm just kind of bending it over a bit here just so I can have white pad to white pad. Because then you know you won't have any gaps. And I'm going to do the same thing. Put your glue over here and go over your form a little bit. Make sure it's on there well. Got my pad right up against the other one. I'm folding that in. Just gently moving it around. Bring up my bottom. And now I'm going to do my other side here. I would be liberal with your glue. You really want to, I'm going to use a couple glue sticks with this one. You just want to make sure that it stays on there. I have mine on my front door, so it's outside somewhat. If you were going to be putting this maybe in the house where you would see both sides, you might want to get even another pad and then put it in the center. I don't see it from where I put it, so I don't really care if parts of this is open and you can see through. I don't mind that. But if you wanted to cover it with another dust pad or just a circle of fabric, you can do that. So I just am moving it around, making sure that it's a nice fuzzy circle. So we've got a good fuzzy circle. And as you can see, as long as you got your edges together, you don't see the seam at all. That's why I really liked these dust covers. They were really cute. So that's how it would hang. Now I'm going to show you from this part, because we don't need to cover the top part. I'm going to make sure this one comes down as far as I need it to come down, so I can wrap it over and make sure that that's covered. I'm going to have this whole part open. So I'm going to, it's much easier if you flip it over. Again, just kind of push it right up against the other. Put your glue all over there. Another glue stick in mine, because as I said, we're going to use a lot of glue for this one. I'm going to fold that over. Same thing on the other side. Mine takes a little bit to click itself in. I got to always hold the glue stick before it gets in there. Doesn't always catch. There we go. Fold that over. And then we don't want it to be a point. We still want a circle. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue in that corner. Wrap that part in to make it a circle. Same thing on the other side. Just fold it on over. Move it and fold it. And like I said, if you did not want this to show, go ahead and buy another. They stock these all year long. You could always put another dust cover that way on the back to protect your door, whatever you have. That would be fine. So this is what it looks like turned over. We've got our bottom. You can fluff it. We've got our top. Now, I'm not going to glue mine because I want to show you an alternative method. So when you want to make more of these, because they're so cute. But for you folks at home that have the hat, what you're going to do is take your hat. Everybody got some different colors, so not everybody got the same. If you want a brim, you can put a brim on it. If you want to fold that up, you can feel free to fold it up and set it on there. So if you want a little edge, if you just want it to be long and then floppy down, you can do that. If you did want this to be kind of poofy on top, take some newspaper, a plastic bag, anything you want. If you want to stuff that, make it full. For the example, for this example, what I did is I folded it under. I didn't want the brim because I really liked the pattern on the hats. So what I did is I took my hat and I folded that all the way under. And I put it right at the edge like that. So it didn't have it. And as you can see, that just fits beautifully right in there. So whatever you would like to do for your hat, go ahead and do that. Fold it under, fold it a couple times, and give it a brim, because there is a lining in there. So if you wanted a brim, you could fold it maybe once like this. You might be able to get one more and fold that down, glue that down. But like I said, I liked it where it made it a little shorter. I just folded the brim in. And then that way the pattern was right to the edge. So what you'll do is you'll put that inside you know, be aware of where your circles are because you're going to need to put some eyes on there, but then hot glue your hat right to that. So you're going to do a line of glue all the way around there, push it all down, fold it over, do another line of glue, fold it down. Here's the part too, where if you have it in the back, you can pull it down if you want to cover it a bit more. So just glue all that in. I'm going to show you an alternative view. So I'm going to add one more pad, dust pad to it. So I'm going to put that right up to the front, and I'm going to show, you'll be able to see what it looks like. I'll keep his head, I'll put his head right there so you can see. Sorry for the view, it's so hard to always get it. So I'll put him here so you can see him. So I am going to fold that down a bit, push that other one right up against it. And then I'm going to hot glue. So I'm going two and two for this example to show you another version. I always like to show you multiple versions to see what you like. Like I said, this is a great way to use up if you have any old hats that you don't want to use anymore in your house, any scarves, clothing. If you have any, you know, sweaters you don't use anymore, those make great. That makes a great scarf or hat. Great way to recycle. And then I've got like a big kind of loop there. I'll just push that on down. All right, so I want to show you what it looks like with a double one. So I'm not going to do anything to that yet. You will have your hat on. So this is my top. So what we're going to do next is let's give a little guy eyes. So wherever your hat is, wherever it comes to, wherever you think you want to put your eyes, glue your eyes on down. You just gonna slide it on there. I think Google eyes are really fun. I like putting Google eyes very close together. So I'm just putting my Google eyes where I want them. And what's a snowman without a nose? So you decide, which way do I want my nose to go? Because you're going to make a point with the three pieces. So do you want it facing this way, the same place you're going to want to tie your scarf? Do you want it to go the other way? Do you want it to go up? Do you want it to go down? Whatever it is you want to do for a nose. You can see on this one, I took it, I put a little dab of glue, and I actually pushed it with my fingers like this, and I made a point. And you can see it right there. So the point was the one in the middle, and then I kind of made them all a point just so it was a pointy carrot nose. So be very careful with the mesh because it's got holes in it. So I'm just putting my line of glue, setting one in. And that's actually cute too. If you want a really skinny nose, you can use just one. That works. And what I meant by this is I took a little bit of glue, put a little bit of glue on the end, and then either on your tin foil or your silicone mat, you're going to, gotta get where you can see. If you just take your pencil, or if you have a silicone finger, you can use that, but I'm going to show how you do it with a pencil or a chopstick. You just kind of make it pointy until it's not too hot to touch anymore. And then I roll it back and forth with my fingers. And that gives kind of a nice point. Yes, you can see the glue, but because it's white, it won't show up there. So that's how I made my nice point. So I'm going to put it right next to that one. I'm going to draw a line of glue here. And again, a pencil or a chopstick is really great to use. Don't use the tips of your scissors, but a pencil or glue is really good to use because you can push it down without burning yourself. And then you can decide if you want a really fat nose. I'm going to do the same thing again, holding it. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the edge. I'm going to set it down on either my tin foil or my silicone mat. Push it down, push the edge down with my pencil. And my glue gun, I've got it set to low temp right now so I can touch it right away. Mine has a high and low setting. If it's on high for you, you may need to wait just a second before you can touch it and pinch it. This is the first time I'm using the low setting and I'm not minding it. So I'm going to just stagger it a little bit. So then that way it looks like the point. So lay that down. So again, you can use just one strand, two strands, or all three. Point or not point. And the mesh is kind of cool because you can just kind of push it where you want it. And that's why I love this dust mop. It's kind of forgiving. I'm not even going to worry about those edges. I don't have to really do anything with it because I can just take my fluff and push it around like that, and it falls in there very nicely. So that is what my little nose looks like. And then I'm going to take the black piece. I gave you a little bit longer and extra depending on what you wanted to do with your mouth. This is this guy's mouth. He's just really happy. You can have fun with it. You can, make him, go up and down, make him sad, make him happy, make him goofy, put it around in a circle, make him be going, oh, whatever you want to do with it. What do I want to do with it? I think I'm going to do a little point at the end to give it kind of a mouth shape. I'm going to just bring it down, smooth it. So it makes it a little pointy. I'm going to see where I want to put it. I'm going to cut mine, actually. I want to make mine a little smaller. So I'm ready to glue. I know where I want to put it. And again, I can put the fluff right up to it. I don't think I want to do that. All right, so there is my mouth. And I found these adorable bows last week at the Dollar Tree. They're plastic covered. They've got little twist ties, but I thought that was really cute. So he's my guy. She's going to be my gal. So that's why I did the double to show you what you can do with a bow. And I thought that was really cute. So I'm going to put a bow up in her head. And that's why I did mine. That's why I did mine double. Because I wanted you to see what you can do with bows. So look how cute she looks. So I'll have a guy and a girl. So this is what your guy looks like. Or there's nothing to say that that's not a girl too. So whatever gender or gender fluid you want to be with your snowman, snow woman, snow person, that's up to you. But I thought that was really cute. So we've got that. So next, what we're going to do is I'm going to call her a her because I'm going to choose to have her be a girl. So I'm putting her over there. So get some of that glue out of the way. With your scarves, you all have your scarf already cut. So I'm going to show you what the big long piece of scarf was. And what I did is I took my scarf material, folded it in half, so all the pieces, and it doesn't have to be exact. So I folded it in half this way. And then you grab your, it's always a great idea to have a pair of fabric scissors because they cut so much easier. So then I'm just going to, on the open end, start down here at the open end. I put it in between. So here's 2 layers and here's 2 layers. I'm putting it in between 2 layers down here, in between, folding it over 2 layers here. So this way, I'm not going to measure. I don't care. I'm just going to slice up the center this way. And just, I'm going to keep cutting. So if you're getting your own fabric, use that. If you're getting an old sweater, use the sleeve of a sweater. That would be really cute. So with this, you've got 2 scarves. Bang for your buck, 2 bangs for your buck. Now, this particular scarf came without fringe. If you want, like this one has fringe, and you can see all it is 2 pieces of yarn that had been poked through probably 1/4 of an inch up from the edge. You could do that to this. If you wanted to fringe your actual material, you can take it, and I'm just going to cut up probably 1/4 inch pieces. This is nice because it's plaid and it has a line. So I'm going to choose to come right up to this line. So I'm going to cut mine. So if you happen to get one of the fabrics that did not have fringe on it, you can either put your own yarn on there if you'd like. If you want fringe, you can cut it like I'm cutting. Or if you don't want fringe, you can just put it on as is. And again, I'm not measuring. I'm very particular many times about things. I'm a perfectionist, which kills me in crafting sometimes. But with this, I am just eyeballing it and going for it because I don't think my little snow person cares if their fringe is exactly even. That was a pretty good measurement. All right. So by doing it with both pieces, I didn't have to worry about it. And now I've got 2 pieces of fringe. So to get it around your snowman's neck, depends on how long you want your scarf to be. If you want it to be a muffler, you can just put it under, maybe glue a piece over and then just have it hang. If you didn't cut it, you could cross it over and have it look like that. I'm going to actually open mine up. Put it in the middle, and I am going to tie it. What you want to do is, if to really get a good tie, do it off center a little bit so one length is longer than the other, because that's going to flip up and under. Because I put the bow on this side, I'm going to choose to put my scarf on the other side. Now you can tie it, you know, any way you would want to tie a scarf. Just so it's enough, and then you just bend it around till it's wrinkly where you want it to be wrinkly, bent in where you want it to be bent in. And then I think it's cute to have it hang. You can either have it hang like this both ways, put a piece in the back, and then once you get the scarf the way you want it, then hot glue it. Then you don't have to worry about moving it around. I'm not sure what I really want to do with this scarf, so I'm not going to hot glue mine yet. I may want to fiddle a bit with it, but that's what that looks like. I would definitely glue there, so it's up on top. Definitely glue at the bottom. If you want to glue your centerpiece, you could also put charms here, snowflakes, whatever you wanted. Glue it a little bit on the back, and see, that's why I wasn't worried about it, because by putting your scarf on, I've covered up the bottom piece enough where that's not going to hit my door. And then with this extra piece here, by putting that there, you can cover that. So if that makes sense, you don't really need to worry about that. And then for your buttons, if you want buttons, sorry about that, I just pushed my push the table up. So if you want buttons, I'm using again the little checkers that had the crowns on it, which I thought were cute. I just filled that with hot glue. Stuck that in where I wanted it, pushed it right down. Do the same thing to the other one. Now these have crowns on it, so, you know, kind of maybe make sure your crowns are facing up. That's the perfectionist in me. Buttons are cute if you have old buttons. Flowers, silk flowers, snowflakes, however you want to embellish it. It is totally up to you. I love this project because it is so fast. I think I'm getting, you know, we say 2 hours, and I think I'm getting faster and faster with each one, because it's already only 6:15 and she's done. But I think it's, you know, it's really cute if you do the full head, or really cute if you have the hat and the scarf. And with this one, I chose to use the red checkers to give him a little, since he was black and white all over up there, I did the red checkers to give a pop of color. And again, with this one, because I covered this and covered this, I'll show you the back, because before I had the genius idea to tell you to not cut this and not take that off so you've got a hanger, of course I cut it off the first time. So what I did is I ended up just taking a piece of string. I reached in there to one of the wires that was in there, tied it down, and then I put a safety pin to hold it up against it so it wouldn't flop back and forth. You can also, if you did that, if you didn't leave anything where it was showing, just, you know, tie some string, tie some yarn, and then glue it on, or even pin it to be careful, and then hot glue over that. So you can see that that's how that's on there. So he's not, if I hold him, he's not flopping away. If I had just tied it to here, he'd be flopping all the way down. But by tying it, gluing it, bringing it up to where I wanted it to be, safety pinning it, I did not glue it again up here. I just safety pinned it. So hopefully that makes sense too. So another way to be able to hang it. And as I said, because you have those hooks that go like this, that will also be able to, just as you're having them there, that can hook up into that or hook up under the hat. So there should be multiple ways to get that on there. It's Dollar Tree. So if you are going to tie a string to your pom-pom, definitely hot glue your pom-pom around your pom-pom a little bit more, because I think it's just glued. They don't have it sewn. So you want to really make that secure before you tie something on, or else he's going to flip down. So these are the cute little two different versions of the snow people. And does anybody have any questions?
Kim,
Yes.
I cut my hook off, but couldn't you, I was thinking when you were talking, you could take some thread and thread it in the back through the little holes.
Yep. Definitely.
That's what I was thinking about doing, because I was trying to get ready.
Yep, definitely. So yeah, any way you want, I wanted to get the pads on before I really worried about, was there a place to hang it from the hook? So I just really wanted to make sure that was all covered. Like with her, I've got a lot showing right there, so I could easily tie a string and bring it up, or sew it, as you said, to either the pads, to the scarf, whatever you want to poke it through to get it. Lots of different ways. Great idea.
They're cute.
They are adorable.
Aren't they sweet? And so fast, so easy. And, depending on the pads, they're $1 each. The scarf was $1. You got 2 for the $1. I had the packages of this. If you did not want to use the tube, you could use yarn, cardboard, plastic, the back of a plastic lid. This is a great way to recycle a lot of things. Buttons for the mouth. So lots of different ways of, putting it in there.
I definitely like the idea of buttons for the mouth, because that would look more like the pieces of charcoal or
coal.
something that we used to use in the snowmen.
Definitely. Like I've got a little top here. So yeah, if you had smaller buttons, it could be button, 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 button. Yep.
Yep.
Kim, how many times did you go around the hat with the glue gun?
Really put it on there pretty good. I mean, I really, as you can see here, I cannot get my finger up it at all anywhere.
And how did you do the rim? Did you turn it in?
I flipped it in. So this is how the hat looks to start with. I just flipped it right in.
Okay.
So I
All right.
put it in there to get it to where I wanted it on the pattern.
Okay.
You can glue it there too if you want, but you really don't have to, because once you're gluing it down and putting it over the form,
Okay.
you're okay. But yeah, I just wanted it to be a little smaller. If you like the slouchy hat look, that's fine, where it could flop around and then maybe put it at an angle. You could even put some more snowflakes. Before you glued it on, if you wanted to embroider your name or write welcome or write let it snow or hot, use paint. You can really go crazy embellishing these things. And like I said, how cute is it that, you know, if you have kids and they've outgrown their hats and you don't know what to use them for, if you don't want to donate them someplace, this would be cute to use it for that. Or
And you-
if you,
And you put the hook toward the back, correct?
yes, I put the hook, yeah, I would put this hook right on the back. So the back of my snowman would look like this with the hook here. And then
Okay.
the hook could hold.
All
And
right,
it should be on there pretty good, but if you still wanted to reinforce it, you could maybe sew it in there.
That's a good idea.
Another thing could be like, if you use bread, they have the bread things that when you push your thing all together again, you have the bread clips, those square ones, that could be sewn onto that. And then you could put some string coming off of that one. Or again, the twist ties, take your, I'll do it over the white so you can see, take your twist tie, put it together, make a circle, just flip it around, attach that really well. So then you've got a circle big enough to go over whatever your hangers are. And I would sew it personally just to make sure that that's on there. You could try to hot glue it. I just wouldn't guarantee the hot glue would stay for a really long time. But you know, even that can be hooked on. If it doesn't connect on your thing, you can do that and it can hook to the hat. So lots of different ways, however it works for you and how you're hanging it up. If you want to use one of those command hooks and just have them on the wall inside, you can do that. It doesn't have to be on your door. He's really cute inside the house as well. You know, since everybody's an expert at making bows from the last video, haha, because I'm not a good bow maker.
Yeah, for sure.
But you know, make your own little bow out of fabric. If you cut your scarf in half, you've got half of that fabric left. You know, you could make your own hair bow. She could have had a turban, wrap it around, make it a turban. So lots of fun things. I mean, the only thing it stops is your imagination.